This is a 980 CKNW podcast.
It is the final hour of the program this morning. That means in about a half hour from now, we are going to check in with Claire Newell. We'll get some great travel destinations as well as some advice to get safely on your way. But first, we are going to talk to an author who has written a book. And if you've ever wondered what it's like to be a pet sitter, well, that question will be answered. But not just any pet sitter. We are talking about being a pet sitter to the stars, to celebrities. And Laura Vorreyer, and I hope I've said your name close to correct, is the author of The Pet Sitter's Tale. And she joins me on the line now. Thanks so much for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'm super excited to speak with you.
Well, it sounds like you've had quite the career being a pet sitter. How did you become a pet sitter to the stars?
Quite accidentally. So I came out to Los Angeles from Chicago in 2002, wanting to pursue my career as a makeup artist, and was failing miserably at that. And one day I was picking up some extra money by walking an actress's dog, and I was on a lot and doing that very determinedly. And Paula Poundstone, the comedian, came out of a trailer and walked right up to me and said, "Hey, are you a professional dog walker?" And I told her yes, and I've never looked back.
And so did you start walking her dog?
Absolutely. So she came out of her trailer, and she started marching over to me, and I thought, oh, gosh, don't make eye contact, don't talk to her, because I was so scared of getting thrown off the lot, like I'm not supposed to be there, what am I doing? And she just came right up to me and said, "That's a really cute dog." And I said, "Oh, thank you. And she said, "Are you a professional dog walker?" And I thought, oh, my gosh, I could pitch her on being a makeup artist, but I took one look at her. I remember kind of glancing up and I'm thinking, no, that's not really going to go anywhere. You know that. I said, "Yes, I'm a professional dog walker." She said, "Well, I've got a dog, and his name is Cal, and boy, he could really use the exercise because he's a lot to handle." And I said, "Sure, well, let me have him crack at him." And I met with her that week, which was great. I really needed something to happen quickly. And I started walking her dog that day right after our meeting, and she had me coming regularly to her home and walking her dog. And then her neighbors kind of saw what was going on and started asking her for my information. And by the end of the second week, I had like 4 or 5 clients already.
And did you worry at all that you kind of fell into it and didn't have a lot of experience with the dogs or with pet sitting?
Yes. Okay, so I was definitely worried, but I had my own dogs growing up, and so I was familiar with dogs. Now, the problem with Paula's dog, Cal, he was like baptism by fire, because when I met with her, I saw that he was, 1, huge, not trained whatsoever, and 3, really, really strong. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. She's going to find me out, because I have no idea how I'm going to train this dog. So I was just thinking as she was watching me leave her yard, like, please don't let me lose the dog within her sight. But he was pulling me down the street, and I was pulling him back like, come on, let's go. So what I did was I went online, like everyone does, and I started looking around and trying to figure out the best way to walk him. What kind of tools, harnesses, collars, commands, what I could do to make the walk a little bit more enjoyable for both of us, because he was just pulling my arm out at every single walk, and he was really over. He was the worst dog that I ever had.
What kind of dog was he?
He was a huge pit mix, just like this big lab pit mix. Looked really threatening, but was very sweet and just so much energy. I mean, the type that's always slobbering, that always seems to be jumping on you, that is just like part kangaroo, I say. I mean, he was just a handful.
Oh, sounds like it. Now, were you able to go into in the book, and if you had experiences where perhaps the celebrity was over the top in how he or she treated the dogs, or you had kind of salacious stories, were you able to identify them and tell all of the stories that you wanted to tell?
No, not all of them. I mean, a couple of them I did, but, again, I'm still in the industry, and I don't want to be known as somebody who, oh, she kissed and tell. But, some of them I think you could kind of read between the lines and just realize that, okay, celebrities, they're not like us. They are accustomed to a certain type of treatment, and they want people to do whatever they ask immediately. So you can't sort of be like rolling your eyes to any sort of request. You have to just acquiesce, or they'll find someone who'll do it. So paint Fluffy's nails. Okay, what color? Brush their teeth. Okay, you got it. Comb their hair. How much? It's just, you just go with the flow, and whatever they ask, you say yes to it. That's been my philosophy.
Probably good advice to live by. You mentioned painting the dog's nails. So what's the most out there thing you've had to do for a celebrity client?
Probably, singing to the dog while they eat so that the dog's digestion is better, and then singing that celebrity's songs to the dog while they eat so that, the dog can really get a sense of the song and really enjoy it so that it will be a huge success because the dog loves it.
Wow. But so you had to sing the song, not just play the song.
No, I had to sing the song.
Wow.
Sing the song.
Wow. And were there repercussions then if you got caught not following the instructions?
No, but I don't know if they ever knew if I did or didn't. But, I would always assume that they had cameras. And even if they did say to me, okay, there's a camera in the living room, there's a camera in this room, there's a camera, these are where the cameras are. I always kind of thought like they would know if I didn't do it. And so I always tried to at least, start off with the couple lines that I knew and, kind of just trail off once the dog was gobbling down its dinner. So.
Yeah. And how was it getting the trust? Because you do have to, anybody, celebrity or not, when you have a pet sitter or dog walker, you have to trust that person with the key to your place. They're coming and going to your place. Was it more difficult, or did you have to do more to get the trust of celebrities?
No, isn't that incredible? I did not, because I wasn't just a stranger to them. I was a referral from another celebrity or their agent or somebody that I was already working for in Malibu or Beverly Hills or Bel Air. So everyone talks to everyone, and that was a big concern of mine, like, oh my gosh, if I mess up with one person and something goes wrong, then everyone will fire me. And so that's just sort of my own, like, craziness, I would say. But it's true. So word of mouth is everything. I mean, celebrities aren't pulling off somebody's name off of a tree and going, oh, look at a dog walker and a pet sitter, and they had their flyer posted to a tree. I think I'll give them a try. So I think that for them, because you're coming through a referral, someone that they know, and it can get back to that person that they were unhappy or had a bad experience, I think that the trust is sort of immediately there.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it is, I mean, we are pet lovers, so we do crazy things for our pets. I mean, they really are part of the family, and we treat them sometimes even better than we treat the humans in our lives.
Oh, I've seen it all the time, and, I see it a lot with people that have especially teenagers, and I say, oh my gosh, they're so sweet to the pet, and they love the dog so much, and you get that unconditional love from your pet, and, it's like I say in the book, our dogs, they're not crashing our cars and stealing our credit cards. They're easier to love sometimes.
Very, very true. Did you get to the point then where you had way more stories to tell than you could fit in the book?
Yes, I did. I absolutely did. And the book started out, it was around 400 pages, and I was working with an editor, and then, it kept getting less. And this happens when you work with an editor. You get a lot of red marks back in your manuscript, and then, big X's through chapters, and we did a lot of combining. But I did take out a lot of the things that I thought were maybe too revealing and maybe didn't paint the nicest picture. And I thought, well, I don't want to be the person who's known for, again, sort of kissing and telling, but I did include a lot of, I think, the funnier things, the more outlandish things, and I think people get a good sense of what it's like to work for celebrities or even just pet lovers, because it doesn't matter if you're a celebrity, kind of like you said. People love their pets, and they can be over the top no matter what their status is.
Very, very true. Have you lost any clients because of the book or since the book's been out?
No, I haven't. I don't think I would. I mean, I don't think anybody would read the book and say, oh my gosh, this is me. No, so knock on wood, that will continue. I haven't gotten any and I haven't lost any, so there you go.
And do you still enjoy it? Is it something you get up every day and think, yeah, I want to go look after all of these animals?
I do. I do still enjoy it, and the business has grown. I have a couple locations now, and I have so many regular clients that I just love the dogs, and I've been in business long enough now where, I've had clients that came on with brand new puppies, and now, their dogs are senior citizens, so I've grown, and I've evolved, and I've seen them grow, and their dog has grown, so I do still love it. I couldn't do anything else. I mean, I love the animals, and I think that's what makes it so satisfying and rewarding and easy to be committed to, is because I just have such an affinity for the pets. I mean, they're all wonderful, and I love them all, and I can't imagine a point when I wouldn't want to hang out with the pets, because it's a joyful experience.
Exactly. And like you said, when you grow up with them too, it must be, we think of it as being lighthearted, but you must go through loss too if somebody moves away or a pet passes on. That's got to be a tough part of the job.
This is a tough part of a job, and I think it's a tough thing that a lot of people underestimate and maybe don't even realize. What happened to me was I had been walking a client's dog for many years, over 10 years, and I saw the dog went from being a puppy to a middle age and then senior, and we were in quite a routine. And when people would say, what a great dog, I'd never say, oh, I'm the dog walker, here's my card. I would always just say thanks and, kind of like let the person assume the dog was mine. And I did feel like I was as much the owner of that dog that anybody else was. And I returned to the house one day, and the husband and wife were going to get divorced, and they were going to move. And they said, today's your last day. And I said, oh, well, what do you mean? And they said, yeah, we don't need you anymore, so thanks very much, and here's your final check, and, goodbye. And I just remember just bursting into tears and thinking like, well, no, I mean, that's not going to work for me, I can't get fired. This is like my dog. And I just remembered them, sort of thinking like, oh, well, you're just the pet sitter, you're just the dog walker, it's nothing, and we're having this, major life change ourselves, and we can't be involved with what your feelings are. And I just remember going into my car and sitting in my car and crying and thinking, what, I'm never going to see the dog again. That was the last walk. And they didn't tell me before, and now I know, and I was devastated. I mean, I went into a little tailspin of depression. Now, the client is gone and the pet's gone, but I don't get to see the dog anymore. And, that can be crushing, and I think people don't realize how attached, as a professional pet sitter or dog walker, that you can get to their pets, and they're sort of just a little callous about that. So, yeah, it can be a crushing blow to be let go of, I guess it would be just like a nanny or something when you're, attached to another living being, and all of a sudden it's just that attachment is cut.
Yeah, indeed. Well, the book is not all sadness, a lot of funny stories and hilarity from your many, many years, or more than 15 years of doing this. Laura, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's like warrior with a V, Vorreyer. You got it.
Vorreyer. Okay, excellent. And the book is out if people want to read it. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I really appreciate it.
Oh, so nice to talk to you. Thank you.
All right. That is Laura Vorreyer. She is the author of The Pet Sitter's Tale. If you want to learn more about what it has been like to be the pet sitter to many, many celebrities, you can pick it up. Again, it's called The Pet Sitter's Tale.
You've been listening to a 980 CKNW podcast. Listen live at CKNW.com, the Radio Player Canada app, tune in, Amazon Alexa, HD Radio at 101.1 FM HD2, and on the AM dial, 980 CKNW.